Okay, this is part 2. You can tell it's part 2 because it's the name of the video. So, yeah, I brought her into Painter 13 and I'm going to clone this, but want to mention that you'll see that these, I think it's a little sticky here because I'm recording, that the paper grain here is large, and I did it large because I didn't know the resolution of the video. I didn't know if I had made the canvas smaller if you would see it or not. But you can make it any size you want in Photoshop. That's up to you. But I'm going to clone this. I don't do the auto painting stuff. So I just clone. And get rid of this. Make it big. Yeah, if you just hit window like that, it gets bigger on its own. You can see it's like a very large canvas. Like I said, that's just for video. Now, here's something that I haven't seen in any of the videos that I saw. You can make her look like a painting first by using the auto painting, underpainting, and just slide over the smart blur. It's not going to affect the canvas texture later. At the end you'll see what I do. But you see, because of the smart blur, everything is flattened out. That's cool. So we'll just get rid of that. Now, when I'm doing the face, I use these brushes. And when I do everything else, I use the oil Funky Chunky that I got from Marilyn Sholin's website. And if you don't know where that is, you can ask her on Facebook, or just go back to part 1. It's at the very beginning. So before I do the face, I usually mix everything up in the background with the Funky Chunky. And this is basically why I don't do auto painting, because this way it's a lot faster. For me, anyways. I'm just tapping and moving. I'm using a Wacom tablet, one of their first ones. It's really large. And I haven't found a reason to having to use everything else. You'll notice, like Marilyn, on my workspace, I like it clear. I don't like a whole bunch of stuff cluttering it around. You see, this is all I do. And I have yet to hear from anybody who's seen my creations that it's wrong. I was going to say something, but I forgot what I was going to say. Normally, if I'm doing a tutorial, I'll have Asia here, but Sundays she's not here. So I'm doing this alone. I'm not really used to talking to myself. So, this is just like something really quick. And of course you can do anything you want. You can put on more of the background in Photoshop. Different textures, paper textures and stuff. But if you want to get that canvas grain, you're going to have to do it this way. Just going to go in closer to your face. See, the background's done, and that was way faster than any auto painting. Now, this one here is the flat oils, which you get automatically with Painter. And just gonna do something really quick here. Like I said, I'm not doing this to perfection. That's up to you. And it doesn't need to be perfect. Besides doing this digitally, by the way, I call this an illusion of a traditional painting. I don't have, I mean, I'm a traditional painter, so for me, doing cloning is a whole different world. And I think, like Photoshop, when you composite, you are creating an illusion. And for me, this is just like that. We are creating an illusion of a traditional painting. And that's the way I look at it. Now, I know you're saying, well, we could still see the pattern. I'm going to get rid of that by using the grainy water. Yeah, I'm not trying to be perfect, but anything that you go outside here like that, outside of her face, you can use the funky chunky, and if you make it small, it'll come out with more detail. You make any brush small, and it'll be more detail. So I had to pause it for a second because guess who came to visit?
Hi.
Aisha's here, and I should have been doing her portrait instead. But anyways, so I'm using the grainy water to smooth everything out, and the grainy water has its own canvas texture. Now, I'll show you what I was talking about with the funky chunky. I'm going to make it smaller. Get these edges back. I've watched a lot of tutorials on Painter, and I'm going to do some things that I've never seen. Let's see. In a few minutes. Remember, we're just creating the illusion of a painting. I'm not doing this perfect. Just giving you a basic idea. I think you guys are getting the idea. If you want to bring back some details, like in the hat. Anyways, I think you know. Looks good. Looks good enough now. Now, okay. So we've managed to get rid of the canvas texture. So now we're going to bring it back. We're going to bring it back, and we're going to do something that I don't see many people doing. If at all, I don't see anybody doing after we bring back this texture. Okay. To bring back the texture, or to add canvas texture, I see a lot of people going up to effects, surface, apply surface texture, and then the paper. Right? It's usually up like that. And they just add it on top. That's not what I do. What I do, we bring this down, the depth down, we bring down the shine. The shine is usually up like there somewhere. We bring it down all the way. And I use the original luminance. And what that does is it brings back the canvas. Right, watch. Make the depth a little less. And there's that canvas texture, plus there's all of this shiny, like impasto effect there. So now most people would say, okay, well, you know, that's not really working. And I agree. So what I'm going to do is to use some grainy water. I'm going to just wipe out some of the stuff here. You don't have to finish by adding canvas texture for this. You don't have to stay right there. It doesn't have to be the last thing you do to your painting. You can go over it. And I like to make stuff look like there's a brush stroke, so I'll use Funky Chunky. I think I use it a lot because I just like saying it. Just put it in dots. And wherever you see the impasto effect from the thing, if you don't like it, like right here, just go over it. It's a little smaller. So that's about it, actually. That's about it. Now, one last thing you can do. Oh, well, let's say that the canvas texture was just too much for you after you did that. You can hit edit and then fade. And fade, at this time, it'll bring back the brush strokes that I just did. But if you hit fade after you put on the surface texture, you can make it less. Okay, so this looks really good. You can also do, oops, who hit that? Now you take that off. That. Hang on. Okay, I had to pause that for a minute because I had to take off the perspective guide. No idea what that is or what it's about. I don't even know how do you take that off. I don't even know how to take off the thing, but I'll do that later. But meanwhile, where I was going is you go up to effects, tonal control, and equalize. Sometimes it looks good, sometimes like this, not. EQ. Yeah, see on this picture, I choose no. But, so there it is, that's all. So, bye.
Bye.
She said bye.